Alright guys, Sony SmartWatch 3. This is going to be an honest review of this device and what my thoughts are as it compares to the other devices that are on the market right now from Android Wear. Now, specifically, this is not a review of Android Wear. That is far too in-depth of a review for just one video. This is just my thoughts on the new Sony SmartWatch 3. How it works, its features, its pluses, its minuses, everything good and bad about the device. So stay tuned for a fanboy free look at the new smartwatch from Sony. So let's jump right into the design of this watch. It's a square watch, different than the Moto 360 and the LG G Watch are, similar to the Apple Watch in terms of its sort of form factor. This watch is removable from the band, and so you will have the option to sort of replace the rubber strap that comes with it. That is kind of a nice feature to have in case you do want to actually take the watch out and replace it with a different band. The rubber strap that it comes with feels solid. It's very soft to the touch, very nice feeling on your wrist. It is a bit of a lint magnet. You can see that there's kind of some lint and marks on the strap, and so that's kind of frustrating coming from a watch standpoint. It's not overly huge, which I actually really like. I have pretty small wrists. I have a 6.5 inch wrist size. And to me, in my opinion, this thing fits my wrist pretty well. It's a little bit too big for what I'd like. You know, my honest opinion is that a 37mm watch such as this Hamilton here is about as big as I like to go, maybe 41 at the most. And you can see that this 37mm Hamilton isn't a whole lot smaller than the SmartWatch 3. It does look rather nice on my wrist. It's very thin, it's very streamlined, it's very sleek. I like the black look. It's sort of high-tech looking. You can't tell what it is. It's kind of square, and the edges here sort of nicely merge into the strap. The clasp is very clean looking, just a little Sony logo there. Very simple sort of clasp mechanism. So overall I like the fit and the finish of the watch. I think it's a little bit dorky, a little bit high-tech when you compare it to a sort of a fine timepiece like this guy. But, you know, whatever. It's Android Wear. It's made for sort of, you know, high-tech geeks and people like me. So I do like it. I just think that it's not as nice as sort of a classic-looking watch. However, the nice thing about having it be a high-tech watch is that you can change the watch face. And to me, that's really cool. And like I said, this isn't going to be a video about Android Wear. Obviously, all Android Wear devices, you can change the watch face. But this is a really cool feature of Android Wear, is that you can just change the look on the fly of your watch. And there's like hundreds, if not going to be thousands of watch faces you'll be able to download for Android Wear in the future. But for right now, the square watch, clean design, a lot thinner than you'd get from the marketing on Sony's webpage, but it is a very nice looking watch. Weight, it doesn't feel too heavy, doesn't feel bulky, fits on my wrist nice, has a definite sporty feel to it, which I really enjoy. I like using this watch for sports. That's probably the best feature of this watch, is that it includes a built-in GPS. And so when you compare this to something like the Moto 360, if you're an athlete, you're going to love to use the built-in GPS on this watch. Right now, however, it only works with a handful of dedicated watch apps that use the built-in GPS. One of them is the Google My Tracks application. And so for right now, things like Runkeeper and other apps that use GPS on your phone do not work seamlessly with the watch in regards to using the watch as a standalone device. You have to bring your phone with you, which is a bummer, because to use this watch and its built-in GPS and internal storage is nice, and you'd want to take that with you on a run or on a bike ride without having to lug your phone around. And so give it a little bit of time. The app developers will come up with software that will work with this watch as a standalone Android Wear device. Other great features of this Sony SmartWatch 3, waterproof design, so you can take it in the pool, you can wear it in the rain. Charging is a micro USB, which is nice to have that standard. It is a little bit annoying to have to undo this flap here. This is kind of hard to get to. That's how you charge the watch itself. The cable they give you is a little bit stiff, and the whole band charging process is sort of frustrating. You have to kind of peel that apart, kind of move the band around and pop that guy in, and you know, this cable is a little bit, it's stiff, and so it's sort of hard to get this in, especially if it's dark. You need a lot of light, and that's a really secure connection there too, which is kind of good and kind of bad. Sony also claims 2 days of battery life. You'll never see that, to be honest. Maybe if the watch is just sitting on your wrist not doing anything, you might see 2 days. But I get about a day of average use, I would say, with notifications running, going for a run or a bike ride, keeping it on to check the time every now and then. I get about a good solid day out of it. Definitely not 2 days. 4 gigs of onboard storage, really awesome to have. You can load music over Bluetooth and then pair this guy with some Bluetooth speakers or Bluetooth headphones, so you can go on a run, listen to your music, don't have to take your phone. Pretty awesome. Like I said, built-in GPS. It is waterproof to IP68 standards, has an NFC chip and obviously smart Bluetooth included, which is how it communicates with your Android phone. Now, as far as the communication with the Android phone goes, it has been seamless. Every update that's supposed to be updated from the phone does end up going to the watch. The notification system is, like I said, Android Wear. I'm not going to talk about it. It works. It works probably just as well as any other watches you've seen from Android Wear. The Google Voice integration works well, picks up your voice really nicely. The button on the side, the only thing that's really used for is to turn the watch on if it doesn't pick up the sort of auto, raise your wrist for the screen to come on. You can also long press that to get to the settings of the watch. You do have a microphone in here that picks up your voice. You can also tap the screen to have the watch turn on. So overall, the functionality of the Sony SmartWatch 3 is excellent. I haven't noticed any bugs, glitches, or any other problems with the device itself. The one sort of thing that bugs me most about the SmartWatch 3 is the screen technology itself. It's 1.6 inches. I think it's 320 by 320 pixels, and while it's visible outside and while it's a great overall display, it doesn't really compare to the other screens we have out there right now. Here's an LG G3, and you look at this device or an iPhone or any other Sony Xperia phone, and the quality of the display is just night and day. Like, this looks like a first generation product, and I guess for all intents and purposes it maybe is a first generation Android Wear product for Sony, but Sony has the screen technology to put a nicer display in here. I don't know why they don't do it. I don't know why this isn't a Retina display or, similar to a Retina display or an Xperia display. Why can't we have an awesome display in a smartwatch in the first generation? We have the technology. Maybe it's for battery life. Maybe it's to save money. I don't know. But it's disappointing that you look at this and you can kind of tell it's a cheap display. It doesn't look that great. The nice thing about this also, though, compared to the the Motorola 360, is it doesn't have that terrible Motorola flat tire design that you see on the LCD of the 360. The other thing that's nice about this display is it's bright, it's viewable outside. It is good enough, I would say, for a smartwatch, but it is annoying that we have to suffer through the visual imperfections of the SmartWatch 3. One other gripe I have is that the clasp here is not very strong, and in fact, when you sort of jar your hand on the surface of something, it will come undone. If you clap your hands, it will come undone, and so there's no adjustment for sort of tension on this guy. It's just this little hook right here, and while the band itself is very adjustable in terms of its size, it can fit my puny wrist really nicely. It does come undone every single time you sort of forcefully clap your hands or hit your hand on something. So something to consider. Maybe new watch straps will come out that alleviate that problem. So overall, $250, awesome device, bought directly from the Google Play Store. I'm really in love with this watch. I hope that the application developers for like Runkeeper and the other fitness apps will sort of start incorporating better apps that can use the built-in GPS without having to carry my phone around. I mean, that's literally the only reason why I bought this SmartWatch 3 compared to some of the other devices that are out there right now, is because I want that built-in GPS support. So I think for a first generation product, Sony's done a really good job with their SmartWatch 3. I can definitely recommend it if you're in the market for an Android smartwatch. If you know someone that's an athlete, this is the watch to get them. It is waterproof, has built-in GPS, rubberized, sort of sporty strap, looks good, clean design, overall excellent sort of battery life, quality, just really nicely well done product. Check out the Sony SmartWatch 3, and don't forget to check out everything else I have on YouTube, and rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.